we're having too good of a conversation for it to not be recorded.
Agreed. And I've learned so much from you two just from meeting you initially through life and or like leadership. And the books, the resources, the conversations that we had then, like they still stick with me now. So the fact that you guys are still on this route, and you got your YouTube channel up, I think that's amazing. I'm excited for you both.
I appreciate it. And it's you were telling me just a moment ago how when I was struggling about, there are two things I'm still working on with this channel. And once again, just to go back, Jeremiah is a great friend of ours who we met at a hotel a couple of years ago while doing leadership development training. But Jeremiah was pointing out something that he had noticed about the learning curve with the making a channel, that the ick factor. Say that again.
The ick factor. Yeah. So that ick factor is just getting used to creating content and knowing like the pros and cons, the do's and do not, and just like getting used to making mistakes and knowing that your first time isn't going to be perfect. But as you get that ball rolling, then you start to develop that sense of confidence that, that people would look at and say, wow, you've really stepped out and developed something of your own. Like people appreciate watching people do something well. And I feel like that's the route that we're all on. I feel like that's why we're on this call right now, is just to, continue to build each other as entrepreneurs, to talk about the things that we're interested in, and then to show our audience how they correlate to each other.
That's so true. And Jeremiah was listening to me complaining about how I'm still trying to figure out how to add music to the channel without making myself look like I'm lip syncing but not saying anything, because that's what happened last time. I just want to reiterate that Jeremiah is on the show today because he has gotten training in, what do they got? Trading. You have a certification from FTMO.
Yeah.
Tell me
So
about this.
yeah, so FTMO simply, and I'm gonna bring my nephew in here because he's a busybody.
Hi.
And he just wants to hang out. You can say hi, Kai. Okay.
Hello there.
And then for a second, so what we're just gonna do is talk about FTMO. So FTMO is a trading firm where you can become a developed trader and actually be able to make money of your own by leveraging the account sizes that they offer. So if you're confident in your trading skills and you understand how the currency or the assets that you're trading are flowing, then you can make some good money. Whether you want to do it as a side hustle or as a full-time thing, what
Cool.
trading allows you to do is pay attention to what's going on in the economy, and
Yeah.
then use some leverages in the account size that you have to make some profit. So FTMO is one of many trading firms that offer people an opportunity to trade on their own terms, and they're really good source of financial freedom. If I'm just speaking honestly.
Oh, yeah. In fact, that's one quote I remember reading from you on LinkedIn. Let me see if I can find it. Now, when the world presents us with the challenges as far as feeling like you're powerless against everything that's changing and the circumstances around us, what are we to do? And it impacts your mental health. And I'm roughly quoting our friend Jeremiah here. Best thing you can do is learn a skill that allows you to stay in demand. And I read that, I thought, wow, spot on. Yeah, it's
So yeah, and thank you for that quote because when I posted that, like I remember leading that caption off by saying that it had been a while, but I wanted to share that milestone with people because I understand that we can't predict everything that's going to happen in our economy, in our lifetimes, or in our future. And so we understand that sometimes like our schedules can leave us feeling powerless because of well, just because of the schedule. It doesn't allow for us to maybe go pick up our kids from an early half day or, just take the day off when you're not feeling well mentally.
yeah.
And FTMO or just the trading skill in general, it gave me a skill set that, regardless of what's going on around me, or if, let's say, for example, people are having a hard time finding jobs in a specific area, you
Yeah.
can still develop yourself. You can still make income and empower yourself instead of, because I understand the job search a lot of times can not only be brutal, but it can be long. So just to
Okay.
keep it short, like having um, an additional stream of income, which is what FTMO allows you to do, is a great way to leverage your time so that you can do what you want eventually.
So trading without using a brokerage firm, basically.
So
That the
they are, in a sense, a brokerage firm. So what FTMO does, and I'm glad you're kind of getting into the specifics. So they offer different account sizes, and they also offer a demo challenge. So before you're ready to put down some actual money to attempt this challenge, you have the opportunity to do a simulation, and they
mm,
offer a 14-day trial. And then after that trial, um, you can sort of test your trading skills and your psychology against like the market to see if you met the goals of that trading challenge. And then after you feel confident, you can go ahead and take on the full-time challenge. And the best part about the full-time challenge is, of course, let's say, for example, that I chose to take the $50,000 FTMO challenge. So
yeah.
that means that I have $50,000 in my account that FTMO is trusting me with to build, to make a profit from, to
Yeah.
analyze these markets and make smart decisions, because we understand that regardless of our competence and the confluences that we have in the market, we're still taking a risk. And so we want to
Wow.
do our best to make sure that we can minimize the downside by paying attention to the patterns that we see in the charts. And so FTMO, depending on the account size that you choose, these trading firms, what they allow for you to do
Mm-hmm.
is once you meet those goals, let's say you've traded for a certain number of days, you've made a profit, you hit the profit goal, and you didn't lose a specific amount of money,
Okay.
then what you end up doing is you go on to a next stage where there's further testing your skills. And then eventually what they end up doing is entrusting you with a $50,000 account that you can use as if it were your own $50,000 in order to make that leverage from that account size. So
Jeez.
it's really fun.
Now, as you know, some of what I do, I mean, marketing is at the heart of it and helping entrepreneurs to explode their business. I love finding the clients or helping the entrepreneur to figure out how to find the ideal clients. There's so many ways. So my first question to you for that would be, who do you, first of all, where have you looked so far for, I mean, have you been immersing yourself in the business yet, or you finished the certification a few months ago, right?
So I was certified in December of 2022.
Yeah.
And then I've just really been using that certification to help fund my endeavors as the founder of Reveal Horizons. So Reveal Horizons is a yoga and wellness brand
Yeah,
where
tell me about that again. So
definitely.
we'll put aside the who is your next client for the trading to hear more about the other business that you have, the Reveal Horizon with the yoga mats, and they're gorgeous. Yeah, tell me more
Thank
about the
you.
Real Horizon.
I appreciate that. And yes, so actually, believe it or not, I look forward to making the two intertwine.
Aha.
And
Okay.
that's my main goal here, is just talking about like financial freedom. And that's why I thought it was great to see both Lily and Norm, because I remember that when we first met, like this, I feel like you guys have been a really big influence in me continuing down this route. See, we learned about those four quadrants of the, we call it the financial matrix. You got
Yeah.
employed, self-employed, you have a business owner, and then you have an investor.
Mm-hmm.
Realize that business owners and investors, like, they're separated
Mm-hmm.
from employees and those who are self-employed, because business owners and investors have found a system that allows them to leverage something that they have in order to make a cash flow instead of trading their time for money,
Exactly.
they use a system or an asset or a business in order to generate cash flow so that they're not, as an employee, is punching the clock 9 to 5 or whatever your schedule is every day. And so that's the main goal. And being honest, when I met you all and when we were discussing this philosophy, it really struck me heavily as a college student who was going through a gap year and just really looking for his next steps. We sell yoga mat, yoga accessories, and apparel. So those are our main products, but our mats are more specifically what draws a lot of our customers to our website. So the mat that I have on my website now are a mixture of in between kids mat and mats for teenagers to adults. And if you were to go to www.revealhorizons.com, you all would be able to see the different unique styles that we offer.
Oh,
but right now,
yeah, they're like art. They're works of art.
I love being able to find concepts that people my age and maybe younger, maybe a little bit older can relate to. These mats in specific are inspired from an anime that I really like. And if you're not familiar with anime, it's like the cartoon TV show that originates from the Japanese or the Asian culture specifically, is what anime is. And there was one particular anime in my life that really inspired me to just continue being myself and never settling or changing because someone wanted me to be a certain way. And so that anime is Naruto. I would recommend it to anybody who's looking for a TV show that just has some really good morals. It's fun.
What's
they
the
got
name
some
of it?
Naruto. So it's spelled Naruto, and I can drop it in the chat.
Oh, that's
but it's my
wild.
favorite. It still is my favorite anime. But then from there,
Okay.
yeah, I just took a couple of concepts from there to influence some of the designs. And so now, with it already being in the space of talking about yoga and chakra and energy, my goal is to introduce meditation and yoga to adults my age, teenagers, and younger by introducing them to concepts that they're already familiar with.
Ooh, we actually we are very happy to be doing what we call ascension meditation. It's like beyond meditation. It's I wish more people knew about it. I'm assuming you meditate?
Yeah, I do.
You
I try
seem
to
like someone
meditate
who
daily.
does. What's
I
that?
try to meditate. I try to meditate daily. I understand that not everybody has like that time, but sometimes meditation is just taking some time to clear your mind. It could be as simple as, taking a couple deep breaths. Like I know my teacher in specific, her name's Joanna Godinez. She's the founder of Bay Lifestyle. She's also the one I did my yoga teacher training with in Puerto Rico.
Ooh, I forget. So you're actually a yoga teacher.
Yeah. So I'm certified through her school as a yoga teacher. I got my 200-hour certification. The next goal is to go for the Yoga Alliance certification. That way I'm, a part of a bigger group. And those who are affiliated with the space of yoga would have a bigger name to associate like my certifications as a teacher with. So it's totally a journey.
Wow. I just got a notification that we have 10 minutes left. Let me make sure that I ask some of the super important questions. So just to clarify, it sounds like the FTMO is currently funding the Reveal Horizons. So the Reveal Horizons is the first customer basically. And you're looking, you're looking for then the population who goes to Reveal, that goes to the website. Is that the first ideal client?
So my ideal clients are anyone who's interested in health, wellness, or any sort of meditation. Like they either just because they heard about meditation but have never gotten into it, or they've heard about yoga, but there was no local studio near them. I understand now And growing up, the benefit and the influence that yoga had in my life as a college student, it actually really, I feel like if it was not for yoga, I would not have felt so courageous, so open, or so bold enough to chase my dreams. Like the first time that I tried it, it really opened something up in myself. It felt like this dormant energy that said, Jeremiah, we have so much more that we can do in our lifetime, so much potential for us to tap into. And I felt that rush of energy, just, connecting with myself, my breath, and then also moving my body. And the more that I get into the philosophy of yoga and understanding the power of the asanas and the pranayamas, which are the breathing techniques,
Okay.
you start to I start to understand how sometimes just being in your mind is not enough. You want to be like a lot of us identify with our mind because it's how we perceive the world.
Hmm.
But the mind is a combination of all of our sense organs, all of our five senses. And from there, it can sort of be overwhelming when we're perceiving touch, smell, taste, sight, and hearing, sometimes all at once. Of course, we would identify ourselves with our mind because this is how we're perceiving the reality around us. The thing is, like our body also has its own power, its own system. Of course, we have like the lungs, the heart, the endocrine system, and things like that that keep our body running.
Yeah.
But if we're so focused on our mind, a lot of times we can mentally overwhelm ourselves. And so
Yeah.
what yoga does is allows us to reconnect with the mind and the body by using a pranayama breathing technique to allow us to feel more grounded. And I feel like that's the real beauty of it. So I look forward to just answering a question. My target audience is really anyone who's interested in tapping into their potential. They know that they have more that they can achieve in this lifetime, and they really want to break free from anything that they feel like is stopping them from doing it. Um,
Yeah.
those are my target audience.
Well, I almost forgot to tell the funny story or have you tell the funny story of how we met and the reason
Ah,
we
yes.
responded. We responded
Oh,
so calmly to the situation because we are meditators or ascenders, as they call people who ascend. And that's why we weren't like, "Ugh." But tell
yes.
them what happened.
Wow. You know what? And I feel like really this is kudos to you, Lily. And I absolutely I adored the way that you responded. It made me feel so comfortable. And I understood, just speaking honestly, in the environment that I was in, how something could have turned into a much bigger situation. So to give a story of how Lily and I met, I was a server at the Holiday Inn, and they were at a gala. I believe they were at for an event where they were like leadership event where they talked about personal, professional, and financial development and things of that nature. So as a server, of course, my job is just to collect the silverware, the cups, and to make sure that people have refills on drinks and to serve the food and things of that nature. Well, this event, if I'm remembering correctly, and this
Yeah.
could be um, I think it hosted more than or just a little bit less than 150 people or so. So it was a relatively big event. And I'm walking around and I have milk trays on a circle dish and I have maybe 8 to 10 milk glasses with ice in one tray in one hand. And so I'm walking around and I'm asking if anyone would like milk with their entree. And of course, there are people who would like milk and some who wouldn't. So as I'm walking around the table, I connect with Lily, our eyes meet, and I ask her if she'd like some milk with her entree. And as I reach over to grab the glass of milk from my circle dish, I actually ended up tipping the tray. So unfortunately, all 10 glasses or so of milk with ice ended up spilling on Lily's beautiful ivory green dress. And to me, it was a total shock because I was like, not nervous, like walking around, but the fact that something like that happened and I wasn't expecting it to totally took me for a shock. And I said, wow, this is super unfortunate, but I did my best to keep my composure and I
Yeah.
apologize. But the real player, the real like player in this situation is Lily because what she ended up doing is she really reversed the situation in such a professional way where it was like almost within nanoseconds, but maybe within 5 seconds, she composed herself. Of course, she gasped because there's like 10 glasses of cold milk on her dress. But what she ends up doing is she takes a deep breath, and I watched her as she does it. She stands up and she stands up and she takes that deep breath and she says, "It's okay. I'm a life coach." And she hands me her business card. And she tells me that she wants me to connect with her afterwards. And I'm sitting here in my head and I'm like, of course, I'm sitting here thinking, nobody wants milk spilled on them. Nobody wants anything spilled on them. So it's gonna be an unpleasant like feeling. And some people can react badly to something like that. So I really applaud you for how you responded. But then from there, we ended up connecting afterwards, and she invited me to an event where I learned about personal, professional, and financial development. And then from there, like I continued to connect with them and to go to events. And they were my mentors in this program. They were giving me resources and information. They're teaching me about financial freedom, about how to develop myself as a person. And I love to read. I love learning. And they just invited me to like the best place that I felt like I could ever have been invited to because I saw so much information that was dedicated towards helping people take control of their lives. And so ultimately that was our meeting. And I mean, of course, to this day, I think, I'm not sure if I referred to them as my guardian angels
Oh,
when we first met, but I know the term totally stuck because like in order for a situation like that to have turned into something that was beneficial for the both of us and that ends up like really being a catalyst for me being an entrepreneur to this day, I think was destined to be. So from there, like you guys always have a special place in my heart. I really appreciate you all.
I will have to clarify one aspect of it in the last second after when I give my thank yous for my new subscriber. But tell me two things that you're interested that have nothing to do with business, and I'll tell you why later.
Two things that I'm interested in.
That have nothing to do with the yoga or with trading, other than
I
reading what you told us already.
most definitely. So two more, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I love golf. Um, I really like to play. Sometimes I'm a little afraid to go out on the golf course, but I know I can hit the ball pretty well. So I spend a lot of time at the range. But I just started golfing maybe 2 years ago. I've been a caddy for almost 10, well, a little more than 10 years now, though it's not something that I actively do anymore.
20
And
seconds.
that's how I got into golf. And then my second thing is
I love
You are a part-time Uber driver. Okay, we just disconnected on Zoom, so this is an experimental way of doing things. I was asking him what his other interests are, and he said golf. And I wanted to find out because if you do meet with somebody and discuss golf, then it's a lot easier to relate to them about your other businesses and see if they're interested in the other things you've got to offer. Now you were saying you're an Uber driver too.
Yes, as
Cool.
a part-time Uber driver, I love like having engaging conversations with my passengers. I understand not every person is, in the mood to talk, so of course, like I do my best to feel out the vibe. But if we end up connecting and our conversation drifts anywhere near yoga, meditation, or anything that they're interested in, if you're not familiar with them, I would say to get familiar with dot cards. They have really great technology for passing out your information
Cool.
in like a touchless and very quick way. So I have a digital business card, and then I have like that transforms into a sticker. So believe this: there's a circular sticker that says dot that I put in my car, and if anyone were to put their cell phone up to that sticker, it would give them, somewhat like a QR code works, a link that they can pull up my information where they can access my social media and they can access my website and different platforms that I share information on. So if I find a passenger who I have an engaging conversation with, I always make sure to reference my brand and
Okay.
let them know that there's buy one get one 50% off all of our
Ooh,
yoga mats.
that is so cool. Thanks for letting me finish it. And so we will be sending Jeremiah's information around the social media globe with his information in the description page. I totally enjoy you coming here, and I'm going to recognize my newest subscribers. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you.